Hello everybody, I am starting a new format today. Every video regarding this book will start with an agenda. The agenda will list all the contents of the video in order so you know before you play what you're going to get. So, in this video I want to present specifically the table of contents. So, just like I will do with every chapter, with every single page, I will first scroll through, pause for like a few seconds, give you a chance to see. And this is all in case you don't want to read for yourself. I mean, you don't want to hear me read for hours, you know? You have the option of reading for yourself. This is all my translation. If you stick around and you listen to me recite what you're seeing, I will share 3 interesting observations I have found regarding some of the content in the book. I think you will enjoy them. Keep in mind, he never got a chance to finish the book. Apparently had 50 more pages to write to finish it. Who knows what the content of those pages were. Perhaps he had written them. Alright, so for you busy folks, now's a good time to leave. For everybody else sticking around, here I go. Keep in mind, very fascinating stuff that I'm about to present. Alright, so table of contents. Ancient Dacia by Nicolae Densusianu. Translation by me from my humble abode, my tent. Keep in mind that the page numbers are changed to reflect that there's 125 pages of preface and 6 or 7 pages of the table of contents. So, the Quaternary era, the Paleolithic period. 1. First population of Dacia, the primitive materialistic and moral civilization of Europe. Next section, the classification of prehistoric epochs, New Stone Age or Gilded. 2. Neolithic invasion, the Paleochtonic current or Old Pelagic. By the way, I look for Paleochtonic in all dictionaries. I cannot find what it means, so we'll just have to go with Old Pelagic. Next section, prehistoric monuments of Dacia. 3. Heroic Pelasgian tumulus or artificial mounds over graves. 4. The tumulus or grave of Hercules on White Island, also known as Loichi, and today is also known as Snake Island, although the Ukrainian claim credit for it. Find it hilarious. 5. The Hyperborean Temple on Loichi or White Island. In section 5, there are 6 additional points. 1. Hecate Abderita about the island and temple of Apollo from the Hyperborean lands. 2. Latona and Apollo, prophets Olin and Abadis from the Hyperborean country. 3. The Hyperboreans from Apollonic legends. 4. The ocean in ancient traditions. 5. The Celts near the Hyperborean island. 6. Leuce Island consecrated to god Apollo. So if you haven't figured it out yet, Roman mythology and Greek mythology, according to the author of this book, is really based on ancient Pelagic mythology. So you can understand the name Ancient Dacia now, right? 6. White monastery with 9 altars. Romanian tradition about the primitive temple of Apollo from Leuce, White Island. 1. Actually, this section has 4 subsections. 1. The vastness and magnificence of White Monastery. 2. Romanian legend about the divine origin of White Monastery. 3. Romanian traditions about the Temple of Apollo from Delos Island. 4. Conclusions about the Temple of Apollo, the Hyperborean from Leuce or White Island. Next section, number 7. The commemorative mounds of Osiris. The expedition of Osiris at Istri, Daniel. Now we got Egypt into the mix, don't we? Section 8. The giant plow furrow or trench of Novak, also known as Osiris, a commemorative monument to introduce agriculture. Next is the main section of the megalithic monuments of Dacia. And to continue, number 9, menhirs. I looked up the definition. They are tall, upright stones. Their character and destination. 10. Termini liberi patris. I'm not going to translate that. Which has 2 subsections. 1. Greek word. The admirable path of the Hyperboreans. 2. Greek word. The sacred paths of the Scythians. Okay, now we got the Scythians in the mix. Ooh la la. 11, or section 11. The megalithic simulacrums of the Pelasgian primitive divinities. Section 12. The main prehistoric divinities of Dacia. And this section has 12 parts. 1. Kerus, Serus, Manus, Duonus, Serus, Cherio, which is a Romanian word which means the sky. Karaiman, Cherio Domnul, that's also Romanian. Domnul means Lord, so I figured it means Lord Sky. Or sky, no, it's the Lord Sky. Because the sky is the Lord, in my understanding here. 2. Greek word, telus, terra, pământul, that's a Romanian word which means the earth. 3. Saturnus, princeps deorum, manes, deus manus, and tatal, which is another Romanian word which means the father. 4. Saturn adored in Dacia under the name Greek word or Zeul Moș, which in Romanian means old god. His simulacrum from the Iron Gates. 5. Saturn as Greek word, and Docus Caeli Filius. 6. Saturn, honored in the archaic cult as Greek word, or Omul, which means the man in Romanian. Now, in regards to this, I mentioned in the Kingdom of Atlantis video that Omul is the head of Atlas, or the Romanian Sphinx. I think Omul might act, or rather, the Romanian Sphinx might actually be the head of Saturn. I got the two mixed up. I'll know for sure when I get back to those pages in the book. In the meantime, might as well throw it out there now. There's a picture in the book. No, not that one. No. All this planning and I still mess up. No, not that one either. There we go. This is the Romanian Sphinx in the year 1900. Can you see? It looks like one of those tiki-taka heads. Or kind of like if you've seen the movie Night at the Museum. It's that stone head that says, "I want bubblegum, bubblegum." It looks just like that. So it looks like the eyes are here. Big nose, big lips. So this is either the head of Saturn or the head of Atlas. I'm not sure which. Oh, this building, I don't think it exists anymore. And here's the people to get a good size comparison, assuming these are regular size people. I think they are though. Anyways, 7. Saturn is Greek phrase. His colossal simulacrum on the Omul mountain in the Carpathians. See, so that's probably Saturn here. Yeah, that's probably Saturn. So the mountain itself is Atlas, and that the Sphinx is the head of Saturn. But I'll know for sure when I reread it. 8. The figure of Greek word and of Jupiter from Otricoli. That's a Romanian location. City, I think. Commune, not sure. 9. Rhea. Greek word, Greek word, Greek word. 10. Rhea, or Great Mother, adored under the name Dacia, Terra Dacia, and Dacia Augusta. 11. Rhea, or Great Mother, with the name Docia and Dociana in Romanian legends. 12. Deciana and Kaloyan, Cybele and Attis, Erythrian Sibylla or Dacia. Which brings me to number 1 on my list. The secrets. So Cybele is another name for Rhea, and Rhea has also been tied to the name Dacia or Terra, and he's pretty much the Great Mother. Now, there's an interesting picture in the book about the Great Mother. I believe it's on page 453? No. Oh, I know. Oh, this is one of them. So just so you know, this says Great Mother Cybele riding a lion. Next to the goddess, the young Attis, the son of Kalaus, or Kaloyan in Romanian legends. This bronze statuette was found in the commune Nayen near Petroasa. It's 15 centimeters tall, 12 centimeters long. At least in 1900, it was at the National Museum of Antiquities from Bucharest. So the Great Mother riding a lion. There's also another picture. Might as well zoom out a little bit. Oh, I know what page it's on. This is another picture of Rhea, or Cybele, the mother of the gods, after Durui, historian of the Greeks, 2, page 653. I'm assuming it's a book. And here's what it says. The famous statue which Phidias, the most illustrious sculptor of Greece, worked on for the something Athens, Greece, represents the mother of the gods sitting on her throne, holding in her hand a word that I'm not sure what it means right now. And in the lower part of the throne, there was figured some lions as an emblem of the power and specifically as an attribute, as was conveyed to her as Doamna, means queen or goddess, I'm not sure. I guess it's the feminine sense of the word lord. Let's call it queen. She was queen over all the animals of the earth. This was her attribute. Now, the interesting thing about this picture, this statue or whatever it was, of these lions, is that to modern day, this is the former Queen of England. Look at her in this massive chair. Why does she have such a massive chair? But more so, look at that. Is that the face of a lion or what? Is that the face of a lion or what? And those might be lions too, I'm not sure. Queen Victoria on an ivory throne, 1876. Now check this out. Go to Wikipedia, type in throne room, and you will see some thrones from around the world. Here's one of them. Those are lions. lions, lions. Not to mention the eagle, so the dual eagle. This is the throne room at the Palace of Fontainebleau, France. Denmark's anointing throne. Look at that. Lion. Lion. Does this show it? Oh, it certainly does. The throne room at Christiansborg is where foreign ambassadors present their credentials to the Queen. So clearly, queens to this day represent the lion. The lion. Can't tell. It's funny how I'm researching the weirdest things lately. Look at this one. Palacio Real de Madrid throne. 4 lions. Have I proven my point? Have I proven my point that the royalty of today is using the lion symbolism, which is attributed to the Great Mother Rhea or Cybele or Dacia or Terra or Gaia or whatever. And she represents the power over all the animals of the earth. So then, to these royals, are we the animals of the earth? Or something else is going on? I will analyze these questions more later on. Section 13. Greek word. Cyclopean altars on the Karaman mountain. Section 14. Greek word. The sky pillar on the Atlas mountain in the Hyperborean country. And there are 16 sections to this. 1. Geographic position of Atlas mountain based on heroic legends. I covered that in the Kingdom of Atlantis video. Prometheus bound on the sky pillar from Dacia. Now we're getting somewhere. Prometheus. This is secret number 2. What is it about Prometheus that I wanted to share? Let's find out. Yes, before I can do that, I want to go back to where I wanted to start. So, as I told you, there used to be a King Aietes who had a very powerful kingdom near the mountain Atlas. His name means eagle. That's Latin, I believe. Now then, in the story of Prometheus, there is an Aquila that is eating his liver while he is chained up, or rather bound on Mount Atlas. Aquila is the Latin and Romance languages word for eagle. Whoa! So now we have King Aietes, and now we have Aquila, and Aquila, the bird, the eagle, is the one that was eating Prometheus's liver. Take a good look at this picture, because here we have not only Prometheus bound on some sort of sky pillar, or whatever pillar, which is on top of another pillar. But we also have Atlas holding up the world. Look at that, they're both in the same picture. What's also interesting is there's this picture in the book which has the following description. The Aquila of Prometheus, megalithic sculpture near the great pillar on the tip of the mountain Omolon. So it's at the top of Atlas, if you will. It continues to say, after all legends, the opera of Vulcan. View is from south-southwest. On the right side there's a segment from the principal pillar or column. Its height over the earth is about 6.5 meters. Picture from 1900. Then there's another picture, page 448. Oh wait, that's the Saturn head. 453. Boom! Look at that. This book from 1900 has this picture, which is identical to this picture. So obviously the man did his homework. And he says it is the bodies of Atlas and Prometheus seen, sustained by the gigantic column or pillar of the universe. It's a picture of some pottery, as was said by Gerhard Auseteles, Wassenbilder, and then TAF, whatever that is. I'm curious if they say the same thing on the internet, but I'm not gonna look right now. What else do I have? 453. So yeah, what I was trying to get to is that the story of Prometheus is simply a story of someone bound up high in the mountains, of some eagle pecking at his liver every single day. Every night it gets regenerated, and the following day it gets pecked at again. Now then, this being bound process is reminiscent of what story? What story is based on this original Prometheus story? You guessed it, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you heard me. I am saying with certainty that the story of Jesus and Christianity was born of the story of Prometheus, in part, at least, in how Jesus is portrayed. I'll cover this in greater detail later on. 4. Or rather 3. Prometheus nailed on Caucasus mountain from Dacia. See? Caucasus. Now we know of the Caucasus mountains on the other side of the Black Sea, but on the left side of the Black Sea it used to be known as the Caucasus. 4. Prometheus nailed on the cliffs of Pharynx Parang mountain in Dacia. 5. The sky pillar in the Carpathians as a sacred symbol of the Acropolis from Mycenae. 6. The sky pillar from the Carpathians as a symbol of the Egyptian Trinity. 7. The Titan Atlas, ancestor of the Oceans, The sky pillar from the Carpathian Mountains as symbol of eternal life of Etruscan religion. 8. The sky pillar from the Carpathians as a symbol of immortality for the Sicilian Pelagians. 9. The sky pillar from the Carpathians on the funerary monuments of the Carthaginians. 10. The legend of Prometheus in Romanian heroic songs, first variant. 11. The legend of Prometheus in Romanian heroic songs, second variant. 12. Prometheus as Greek word Mithras genitor luminis or Deus Arimaneus. 13. Prometheus Mithra as Greek word Invictus the Petranatus in Romanian Christmas carols. So now we also have another name for Prometheus as Mithra. And guess what? There is a religion called Mithraism. This Prometheus guy is not the guy from the movies. It's not a ship. It's a guy. Oh wait, could all these gods be ships like spaceships? To be analyzed later on. 14. The legend of Prometheus in history. 15. The Titan Atlas in Romanian heroic songs. 16. Epic cycle about Atlas, Medusa, and Perseus in Romanian tradition. Section 15. Greek word. The boreal column or pillar near the lower Istru, also known as the Danube. Section 16. Greek word. The Pillars of Hercules. This has 11 sections. 1. Old traditions about the Pillars of Hercules. 2. Tyriani or the Tyrians search for the Pillars of Hercules near the Romanian Mediterranean narrow pass near the North Sea. That will make sense when I get there. 3. The Pillars of Hercules near Oceanos Potamos, also known as Istru, modern day known as Danube. 4. The Rivia Island or Rushava, which translates to Red Island, near the Pillars of Hercules. 5. The Rivia Island or Rushava, near the Pillars of Hercules named Greek word and surname. 6. Islands named Greek word or Gadira near the Pillars of Hercules. 7. Pillars of Hercules named Greek word or Gerdapur. 8. The Pillar of Hercules named Calpe near the Iron Gates. So now we have names for the Pillars of Hercules. Ooh la la. 9. The second pillar of Hercules named Abila. One variation spelled with Y, one variation spelled with I, in the sunset or west mountains of Romania. 10. The Argonauts returning to Elysium on Oceanos Potamos or Istru or Danube pass by the Pillars of Hercules. 11. Emporiums Tartessos, also known as Tartessus, in Kempsey near the Pillars of Hercules. Section 17. Greek word. Prehistoric simulacrum of Hercules in the Cherna River at the bottom. So it's on the bottom of the river, underwater. I'm gonna go search for it. Section 18. The Polovragi obelisk. Section 19. Pelagic constructions in Dacia. The origins of Cyclopean architecture. The main section following is prehistoric monuments of Therapeutic art in Dacia. Section 20. The origins of metallurgy. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting, right? 21. Eschatological tablets of the Hyperboreans. What? Tablets of the Hyperboreans? Oh. Section 22. Greek word. The tall brass pillar in the Atlas or Old Mountain region. Section 23. The massive crater on the sky pillar in the Carpathians. This sentence doesn't make much sense, does it? Can't wait to cover it. Section 24. Greek word. The great golden pillar consecrated to Uran, Saturn, and Jove, also known as Jove, also known as Jupiter. This has 4 sections. 1. Evhemer about the pillar of gold dedicated to Uran, etc. 2. The Patriarchy of Uran in the Atlas Mountain region, Happy Arabia of Evhemer, near the river Ochanos, also known as Istru or Danube. 3. Island named Pangaea or Peuchi in the sacred history of Evhemer. 4. Olympul Trifiliu from Pangaea Island. Section 25. The Golden Apples of Gaia. Ooh, I can't wait to get to that. Section 26. The Golden Fleece consecrated to the god Mars in the mountainous region named Kolkis or Kolti. This section has 6 parts. Part 1. Greek legend about Phrixus and Helle. Argonauts leave towards Kolkis. 2. The mountainous region named Kolkis near the lower Istru, Danube. I spoke about that. When I read, it gives all the details. 3. The capital and residence of King Ayeti, Dia Dioscuria, Sevastopolis, today Trivina. I spoke about that also. Kingdom of Atlantis video. 4. The Golden Fleece, a statue of the Pelagic agriculture and pastoral tribes. 5. The Argonauts, having stolen the Golden Fleece, return towards Elysium. The 2 prehistoric courses of the Istru or Danube, one towards Adria or the Adrian, the other towards Pontus Euxine. So Adrian Sea and Pontus Euxine is the Black Sea of today. 6. An enormous amount of locals from the kingdom of Ayeti persecute the Argonauts all the way to the Adriatic. They remain stabilized in Istria, the origin and language of the Romanian Istrians. The next section is the parabole of the lost son from the Evangelic S. Luca, chapter 15. And this is about the translation in the Romanian dialect from Istria in comparison with the Romanian text from the year 1561-62. This will be hard for me to do because I speak neither dialect. Next section, from the cries of Prophet Yeremim, chapter 5. 7. Oh, I see, so it's a continuation of what was said before. So these bolded sections are mostly songs or dialect. 7. The legend about the Golden Fleece being stolen from Romanian heroic songs. 8. Medea in the Romanian traditional songs. 9. Reminiscent about the names of the Argonautic heroes in the traditional Romanian songs. 10. Nephili or Nebula in Romanian traditions. 11. Phrixus, Greek word, an ancient patronymic name from the north of the lower Danube. 12. The legend of Hela in the Romanian version. Section 27. Greek word volcanos, his famous country and opera in Romanian traditions. Section 28. Arimaspic thesaurus or Hyperborean from Pietroasa. Did you hear that? Arimaspic or Hyperborean thesaurus from Pietroasa, which is a location. It's Pietroasa. So this is split into 5 parts. First part is Pietroasa commune and its archaeological importance. The discovery of the thesaurus. 2. The Great Disc from the Pietroasa thesaurus, also known as Discus sive Lux. 3. The decorated patera with figures from the thesaurus from Pietroasa, representing the Hyperborean holiday in the honor of the Great Mother, Mames Vindemia. Janus, Greek, also known as Janus, visible on the Pietroasa patera, is the first king of the Hyperboreans, and then Greek word. And Janus, it's a very interesting story about him, I'll reveal that later. 4. The fibula in the shape of a phoenix from the Pietroasa thesaurus, Fibula major. 5. The ring with inscriptions from the Pietroasa thesaurus. This is actually the third secret or third part that I want to speak about, because obviously anything that says Hyperborean thesaurus sounds magnificent, right? And I think this is probably one of the greatest treasures of the world today. It is mentioned on pages... Oh, okay. Let's see. So this is where he starts talking about it. Then a couple pages lower. Oh no, not that one. So he speaks about every single one of these gold items. Second section was about the big disc. This is an inscription from the big disc. Now, this treasure is made of gold. This is it. It's currently in the Romanian National History Museum in Bucharest, Romania. These are some of the items. This is the big disc. Now, the description, this part. See the wavy lines? That's what he's trying to point out. It says, decoration on the interior margin of the great disc from Pietroasa. If you look closely at this picture, at the top section, that's what he's talking about, that wavy pattern. He gives the true narrative regarding this thesaurus, how it was found in the mountains by people that were cutting stone as for a living. I don't know what the official story is today, but yeah, the people that found it tried to sell it first, bastards. And then the Russians took this for a while, bastards. And then it was returned partially, not every item, bastards. Also, there's another picture here next to this one where he says, ceramic fragment from the ruins of the historic Troia, the city Hisarlik, from Schliemann Ilios, page 266, figure 33. He was trying to point out the similarities. This is the work of Hyperboreans apparently. And going back to this awesome thesaurus, there's this little piece over here. Let me show you a better picture of that. If my internet doesn't crap out on me. Look at this thing. Just look at this thing. What kind of metallurgy is this? Well, according to the author of ancient Dacia, Nicolae Densusianu, that is Hyperborean. And this is the Great Mother, Dacia, or Terra. That's awesome. It just blows my mind. The skill to make this, and it's all gold. And the figure, she definitely does not look like Romanians look today. Unless they used to exaggerate facial features. Just purely amazing. Anyways, to finish what I started. So there's a bunch of rings, some other stuff, something in the shape of a phoenix. Let's see if I can find that real quick. I'm not gonna search it. Section 29, Greek word, the iron gates. Section 30, the rings with gems from the Prometheus cliff. The next big section will be focusing on the Pelagians, or the Proto-Latins, also known as the Arimi. This will be an interesting one too. Section 30, the beginnings of the Pelagian people. It has two parts. One, the ancientness of the Pelagian race, and two, the prehistoric civilization of the Pelagic race. Section 32, the meridional Pelagians. This is broken down into 6 parts. 1. The Pelagians in the Hem Peninsula. 2. The Pelagians in the Aegean Sea. 3. The Pelagians in Minor Asia, Syria, Mesopotamia, and Arabia. Yes, you got it. The Pelagians, or the Proto-Latins, went over there too. If you heard about Mithra, who's Prometheus, kinda makes sense, doesn't it? 4. The Pelagians in Egypt and Libya. So we got not only ancient Mesopotamia and Sumer, but we also have Egypt. Did you know Egypt? Pelagians. 5. Pelagians in Italy. 6. Pelagians in South Gallia and Iberia. Section 33. And this is broken down into the largest section in this whole book, 27 parts. 1. The Titans, Greek word. 2. Giganti, or the giants, Greek word. 3. Hekatonchiri, Greek word, or rather, also known as Greek word or Sentimani. 4. Arimi, also known as Arimani, Rami, Arimaspi, Arimphai, in Dacia. The archaic coins of Dacia, Armis series. A. Coins with legend Greek word, and B. Coins with legend Artemis 10, and C. Dacian coins, Maya type. Some specimens on the reverse side having the figure of the horseback messenger in the legend Janus Arimus. 5. Arimi, also known as Aramei, Sarmatei, Saurematai in European Scythia. 6. Arimi, also known as Herminones, Arimani, Alemani in Germany. 7. The Arimi migration to Gaia. Morici Rem. 8. The Arimi migration to the Iberic Peninsula. 9. The Arimi migration to Italia. 10. The Arimi migration to Thracia. 11. The Arimi migration to Old Illyria, also known as Rasia or Rama. 12. The Arimi migration to Elysium, which is Greece. 13. The Arimi migration to Minor Asia and Armenia. Minor Asia is the west side of Turkey. 14. The Arimi migration to Syria and Palestine. 15. The Arimi migration to Arabia. 16. The migration of the white Arimi, Abi or Abarimoni, to Asian Sarmatia in Europe. These are giants. Literally, he speaks about them as being giants. And I guess I'll add another important thing. He said they were living up to the year 1900, but almost exterminated. I know, right? Those are who we think of when we think of the Tartarians. 17. The Arimi migration to the Great Peninsula of India. What? We got India in the picture now. India? What? 18. The Latins, old genealogy of Latin tribes. 19. Romanian people traditions about Latins from the Istru or Danube. 20. Latins in the Balkan Peninsula. 21. Latins in the Baltic Sea area. 22. Old Latin tribes from Germany and Gaia. 23. Latins, a branch from the white Arimi. 23. Latins, 24. Turseni, Etrusci, and the Agatursi. 25. Placi, or Blaci, or Belaci, or Belk, or Belkai, or Fiaci, etc. 26. Legis Pelaginas, Lex Antiqua Valacorum. 27. The ancient popular form of the name Pelasgi. The next great section is the Great Pelagian Empire. Section 34. The Patriarchy of the First Pelagian Kings, the region around Oceanus Potamos. 35. The Lordship of Uran, also known as the Mountain Man. This has 6 sections. 1. Uran, the first king of the inhabitants near Atlas Mountain in Dacia, year 6000. It says AC, I don't know what that means. I think he means BC, or about 8,000 years ago, because according to him, all this started about 8,000 years ago. And according to him, there was some people in Spain that prided themselves in having a 6,000-year-old vocabulary, or something like that. No, 6,000-year-old writing, not vocabulary, writing. And I'm actually going to research that right now because I'm curious after this video. 2. Uran under the name of Pelasgos. So there you go. Pelasgos is Uran. The Pelagians were Uran's people initially. 3. The lordship of Uran over the sunrise, east, and north regions of Europe. 4. The lordship of Uran over Egypt. Romi, the oldest pelagic inhabitants on the Nile plains. So now we have a name for the first people of Egypt, Romi, and it also says Nile plains, which implies water. 8,000 years ago? Makes sense. Makes sense. By the way, all these figures of millions and billions and who knows how many hundreds of thousands of years, it's all nonsense. Everything happens so much faster than we can possibly comprehend. 5. The dethroning of Uran. 6. Uran in the legends and traditions of the Romanian people. Section 36. The reign of Saturn and a Greek word. 1. The lordship of Saturn in Europe. 2. The lordship of Saturn in North Africa. 3. Saturn rules over Asia, the Chaldeans, and the origins of astronomical science. 4. The war between Saturn and Osiris. 5. The war between Saturn and Jove, or Jupiter, Titanomachian. So I hope you're getting the idea of how the Anunnaki story of the Sumerians fits into this. It's not the story of the Sumerians, it's the story of the Pelagians. Okay? I'll get into that in great detail in my analysis videos. Section 37. The reign of Typhon, also known as Seth, or Set-Nehes, or Negru Set. Negru means black, which makes it Black Set. Has one section, the war between Osiris and Typhon. Section 38. In fact, the story of the Egyptian, the story of the Sumerians, the story of the Babylonians, and the Phoenicians, the story of the Pelagians. Dang, all the Greek mythology, Roman mythology, all these things that are localized religious beliefs or traditional beliefs or mythology all go back. This book, just the freaking the table of contents puts it all into perspective. So, section 38, memory of Saturn in historic Romanian traditions. 1. The Gold Age of Saturn in Romanian religious Christmas carols. Santa Claus? 2. The name and personality of Saturn in traditional Romanian poems. 3. The war between Saturn and Osiris in traditional Romanian songs. 4. The defeat and death of Osiris. 5. The war between Jove, or Jupiter, or Jovi, and Saturn in Romanian epic poems. 6. Saturn under name of Kronos, Carnubutas, and Voda. Section 39. The decadence of the Pelagian Empire, or the fall, really. 1. The lordship of Hermes, also known as Armis, also known as Thoth, also known as Enoch. Dun 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 dun. 2. The lordship of Mars. 3. The war between Marcu Viteazul, which is a Romanian historical figure, but also known as Mars, and Iov Împăratul, another Romanian title. Viteazul means the great, Împăratul means the emperor, and Jovem Parato is really a reference to Jovi or Jupiter. 4. The lordship of Hercules, also known as Greek word or Hercules or Hercules. 5. The lordship of Apollo, also known as Greek word or Apollo or Aplus or Belus. 6. Other kings from the divine dynasty. This is broken down into 5 parts. 1. Vulcan, also known as Greek word or Opus. I think he's also known as Hephaestus. 2. Mizraim, also known as Mizraim or Misor or Misir. 3. Neptune, also known as Greek word or Greek word. 4. Dardan, also known as Derkunos or Draganes. 5. Danaus, also known as Armais. Section 40. The duration of the Great Pelagian Empire. Section 41, which is the Pelagian language. This is broken down into 17 sections and the book ends. Section 1. Pelagian language after biblical and Homeric traditions. 2. Pelagians, according to Herodotus, spoke a barbarian language. 3. The ethnic character of the old barbarian language. 4. Latin language considered as barbarian language. 5. Peregrine language. No, we're not speaking about birds here. 6. The barbarian Latin language, also named Lingua Prisca, which I think means pure language. 7. The language of the Getae and the Dacians. 8. Sarmatian language. 9. The barbarian language in Macedonia and in the Illyric provinces. 10. Elements of the barbarian Latin language. 11. Saliare songs, also known as Carmina Saliaria. 12. Barbarian magic or spells. This makes me think about the runes of the Celts, even those are coming from, well, barbarian magic. 13. The Song of the Arvali Brothers, also known as Carmen Fratrum Arvalium. 14. The Pelagian inscription from Lemnos Island. 15. The 2 Pelagian dialects, Latin and Aramic. Now we're getting somewhere. So apparently, some were Latin and some were Aramic. Why does that matter? Are one side good and one side evil? Are both sides evil? Both sides good? Are they the same people? Or different generations of people? To be seen. 16. The corruption of the Latin and Aramic dialects in Italy. 17. The origin of the articulation defined post-positive by lu and le and a. And the book ends. Again, he was supposed to write 50 more pages. Pages we never got to see. And to conclude this video, the next translation will be about chapters 1 and 2, because I want to make a video about the creation of the world, and before I can do that, I want to give you his version of the creation of the world. So if I go to the book, page 131, it speaks about the first inhabitants of Dacia and the primitive culture, which was not so primitive, was it? but it's split into certain epochs. Each have their own characteristics. Remember Stone Age tools? Triangular Stone Age tool. So these first few chapters speak about the beginning of our world, if you will, and what changed. And what changed? In these first few chapters, also the introduction of the deities is made, and a brief description of how the world came to be. So I believe it's the first 2 chapters, and then I will be making a video called The Creation of the Universe, combining what this book says with my own accumulated wisdom over my lifetime. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this video, short or long. See you next time, which seems to be every day.